So we've got our next range of presentations for you, taking up to 1:35 this afternoon. First off is Nigel Penny and collaborators from the Faculty of Health. Will student collaboration improve curriculum design? So where's the, there we go.
Thank you. You have to excuse us, we've only got one mic, so I'm going to have to share it as we go through. So yeah, I'm Nigel Penny, I work at the Faculty of Health. Just a quick blurb about myself. I teach a programme called BSc in Health and Wellbeing, Nutrition Science. And really the design of this programme is what the project was about. So I'll just quickly introduce who I've got presenting with me. So I've got two current students on the previous sort of the outgoing programme that this one has stemmed off from. So I've got Pamela and Manal, and we've got one of our recent graduates who was very kindly agreed to come back. We've got Maria. So what was the idea about the project? I'm trying to give you a bit of quick background without waffling on too long. The outgoing programme was coming up for reapproval. And the decision was kind of made, well, actually, we don't need that as a programme anymore. We're going to take what was the individuals and communities pathway, that component, out of the programme and move that to a standalone degree in public health, which is started as well in September. So I thought, well, okay, rather than lose an entire nutrition science pathway and just let it fall by the wayside, what can we do? What can we do with that? Some brainwave happened, you know, as you're walking the dog or in the shower or doing whatever, you're not supposed to be thinking about work, and there you are, you think about work. I thought, well, okay, why not take this ideal opportunity? How do we usually think about designing programmes? Well, it's kind of led from the academics, not from the students' perspectives, which I'm not saying that we're wrong. That can be very useful, but it's a difficult thing to deduce of what difficulties, what do students like, what don't they like, what do they find challenging, what are the biggest steps. So okay, well, why not get the students involved in designing it? So I applied for some funding from Celt. To my surprise, got the funding and asked some students to get involved, and there they are. They got involved. They're going to tell you a little bit about their opinions in a little while. But the idea was to integrate the academic idea of designing a programme with actually taking out the muddied water and getting the students directly involved with the process, rather than just using sort of like end of module evaluations or your programme board feedback that you get, which is often useful but not always the full picture. Let's get the students involved. So that's what we did. We got the students to basically do an initial analysis of the programme. So this was these guys were doing the work. I gave them some tasks to do, but I sort of sent them off, said, right, come back with the work, please. I want to know what you think. So really the initial part was evaluation of the learner experience. So from their opinion and going back to their colleagues as students, without any pressure of thinking, well, we can't slag it off because he's a member of staff. They were talking to actual students, so we could probably get the full picture, believe it or not. And also what we were looking at is we want to increase the university's reputation, and these guys want to come out and be more employable. So the biggest governing body for nutritionists is the Association for Nutrition, so we wanted to map against the competencies for that. I had lengthy chats with them and they suggested, you know, there are ways of going about it, you can work with us. And I said, well, what about if we get the students to map it? And they thought that was a fantastic idea. So again, there was two layers sort of to the project. And what we wanted to do is design and produce a curriculum outline that was based on that above analysis in two ways. So mapping against the accreditation body and thinking about the learner experience, how can we improve various components of that. So what we wanted to come out with at the end of it was a suggested modular structure, suggested content, the learning methods that they wanted to pick up this content through, and the assessments and the spectrum of assessments. So what we then did was evaluate the opinion at the end of it of the new curriculum, and these guys are going to tell you, I didn't want to stand at the front and tell you their opinions and put words in their mouth. They're going to tell you exactly what they think of the new curriculum. And we did this by staff and student focus groups, as a joint and individually as well. So it sort of remove the pressure from the students of whether they thought it was a good or bad programme. Fortunately, most of what we found out was they thought it was a good programme. And then we thought, well, okay, well, how do we then find out if it's actually going to work with students? So why not take some selections of the things we suggested, to the new learning methods, the new assessments, and try them out. And hopefully, I mean, it's still in almost the sort of third trimester, edging towards that. We're probably in the second trimester of the pregnancy of this project, so to speak, because we want to look at see if there are any comparison between the results that students are getting from the previous version of the programme, the outgoing one, on the nutrition science pathway and on the specific nutrition science programme at the end, and see if the opinions have changed, if the actual results have changed. So I thought that's enough of me waffling on. I'd let you hear some of the actual student opinions. So I'll pass you over to Pamela now. You can just hold on to it if you want.
Okay, I'm Pamela Walker. I'm currently in the third year on the Health and Wellbeing Nutrition Science course. One of my opinions, one of all of our opinions was, oh no, can't we start this again? This looks absolutely fabulous. One of the reasons for that is because instead of there being many single 15 credit modules, we've now moved to double modules in the first year. I think this is really important because rather than chopping and changing and having to rush and get new books and new materials and stuff like that, it's much more of a flow for the students as well. I was a little bit jealous about them having also physiology, which we only actually had in the first year. The new programme involves it also in the second year. It just means that if anybody's had a gap from college or from school, it means that rather than wait until the second year to catch up and do your biochemistry and those kind of things again, that there's an actual flow from the time you finish college to the time you start university, and that's why we think the course is so great. It's also great that the staff are interested in the students' perspective. The idea that I thought was that teaching was incredibly rigid and that there's a set way to do it, and that was how it's done. Involving the students has made it feel a little bit more relaxed, a lot better for us, and a lot easier for us to learn about what we need to learn about in nutrition. Unfortunately, we did think that some of the stuff in the first year was geared towards the other pathway, but we didn't realise at the time that it was relevant for the nutrition pathway as well. Sometimes you don't realise until you get to the third year what it's all about. I'm going to pass you on to Mariah.
Hello, my name is Maria. I've recently graduated in Health and Wellbeing Nutrition Science. The new programme was designed taking in our challenges into consideration that we went through over the first and second year of study and the final year for me. We worked in a team, shared our experiences and developed and improved a programme to benefit future students. One of the main changes we made were that we incorporated more placements. We had a one-off 6-week placement. Now they have placements in each year, which is really good. So new students will develop more confidence when applying for jobs and get a real feel of what it's like in the workplace. And now I'll pass you over to...
Hello, my name is Manal. I'm just going to talk about my experience in the SAP project. I found my experience really interesting because you get that role swap between you and the lecturer rather than them always being like lecturing you and stuff. This time you actually get to put your opinions through and stuff. It also gave us a real insight and like in-depth into how difficult it is to to put up these programs, because like these things we would have never thought about before, but now that we've experienced it, you actually feel that actually it's not easy as it sounds. Also, I really love the fact that the program was designed with our opinions, so we've been through it, we know what the missing gaps were, so we try to fill them up for the next generation kind of thing. So it's all good. I really enjoyed it.
And after finishing my degree, I just feel like I've left something behind to benefit future students, which is really rewarding. And as a team, we gained valuable project design and evaluation skills and worked effectively in partnership with staff and other students.
Thank you. Yeah, so as ever, there's never enough time to say everything, so I'll literally just tie it up there. Really useful working with students to design a programme, and it's nice to know that it's a programme designed by students for students. Quite a unique selling point, so it's been really enjoyable. And I'm happy to answer any questions at the end of the session. Thank you.